Hey there, Ride the Car Guy here, and today let's talk about what's actually gone wrong with the Xterra over the years. Now, I've gotten some comments over, the last couple of years where people talk about how much has gone wrong with my Xterra. Some people mention, there's something wrong with my car because I'm fixing stuff constantly. And I even had someone comment that they were gonna get an Xterra, but my videos scared them off. So they got me thinking, how much has really actually gone wrong with my Xterra? And I wanted to break that down with all the videos that I've created on the Xterra specifically. So I went to my channel and I grabbed all of my Xterra related videos, which is 77 in the playlist. And I wanted to kind of break them down by a few different categories. We'll talk about that in a minute. And just figure out exactly how many of them are actual fixes when something went wrong with my Xterra. But before we jump into it, if you own an Xterra or a Titan and you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and if you end up liking this video, hit the like button as well. Now, if you know me, you know I'll use any excuse to use Excel, and I took all my videos out of my playlist, put them in an Excel spreadsheet, and broke them down into two main categories: how-to videos and informational. Now, informational are things like my catch can update video, or the Xterra low pressure guide, or how to lift the Xterra using the proper lift points. Those are things where I'm not actually making any changes to the vehicle at all. They're simply informational to get the information out there. So I immediately took those and just threw them aside. Those have nothing to do with it. And that ended up being how many videos? 11 videos. So right there, we're down to 66. Then I went a little bit further and I took my how-to videos and I broke them down into separate categories or subcategories. I have 5 subcategories. I have not on the X, meaning there are videos that pertain to the Xterra, but they aren't actually on the Xterra, probably on the Titan. Modifications, maintenance, actual fixes, and then something called for show, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, right off the bat, 2 of the videos are not on the X, so obviously those aren't fixes I did on the X, right? And then I had 24 mod videos. So these are videos where I'm voluntarily making changes to the Xterra. For instance, installing a lift kit, or my upper control arms, or installing radios or new speakers, right? Obviously, there's nothing wrong with the Xterra. I'm just making changes to it because I just want it to be a certain way. So are those technically how-to videos? Absolutely. How to install a suspension? Well, if you had something wrong with your suspension, you could use that video to fix it. However, there was nothing wrong with mine. It was just old and tired and I wanted a new one. Another good example is painting the plastics, right? Again, nothing wrong with the Xterra. The plastics just look old and nasty and I wanted to redo them. The next category is what I called maintenance, and there's 17 of those. So that's anything from transmission fluid or differential fluid, or how to change the oil, right? Bleeding brakes. These are all things that every single car needs. I'm just showing you on my Xterra for my Xterra audience. It could be argued that some of these, like tie rod end and sway bar links, I consider those maintenance. I call those wear parts, right? When they get old, they get sad. They didn't break on my Xterra, but they were getting tired enough that I said, hey, let's just replace them, make a video out of it, and call it good. Another subcategory is for show. And this is one that I think causes some confusion and kind of gives people the idea that there's something more wrong with my Xterra than there actually is. And the for show videos, I literally was just needing to make content for the Xterra, right? I wanted to get videos out to you guys. And so a lot of times I would literally take a part that was perfectly fine. I would take it off of the Xterra to show you how, and then I would just put it right back on because there was nothing wrong with it. A lot of these videos are back when, years ago, when I just needed content. My Xterra was running fine. I said, hey, what do? I need to get some content out there to keep my channel growing. And so that's what I did. That's the approach I took. I took perfectly fine parts off and just put them right back on. So for instance, pulling the grill off, the instrument cluster, some stuff I just wanted to clean, like the roof rack, I wanted to clean it. So I said, hey, I'll take it off, make a video on it, clean it, and put it right back on. There's also ones where I did completely unnecessary upgrades. So for instance, on my taillights, I wanted to make a video on how to remove the taillights. So I just bought a little LED bulb upgrade. Who cares, right? Doesn't make a difference really. I bought it, threw it in there, and said, hey, here's how you take off the lamp. So there was 14 of those and 17 for maintenance. So right there is a large chunk of things that never really went wrong with the Xterra. I just did it either for show or to maintain the vehicle, which again, every car guy should be doing to every car he owns. And that leaves me with the final category, and that's the fix category. What actually went wrong with the Xterra over the past, almost 7 years now that I've owned it. and I came up with a total of 9. And even then, I want to break down a few of these to show you because I think at least one of them is my fault. We'll talk about that here as we get through the list. Starting with the first one, which is the warm AC. This actually only ended up being the fan, the auxiliary fan on the radiator. The fan motor died, and so I swapped out that motor, and it was fine, right? So nothing wrong with the actual condenser or the pump or anything like that. It just it was a fan motor that went bad after, being in existence 15 years. Not really that big of a deal. Windshield washer tank. This one is it's annoying, but it's not serious, right? So it was the stupid plastic tank that, in my opinion, was a horrific design. They created I don't know if you guys care right now, but they created a little seal that was on a curve where your sensor is for your windshield washer fluid, and it leaked all the time. I bought brand new replacements and they leaked. I think I'm on my 3rd tank when I eventually just put a bunch of RTV and sealant on it to finally make it stop leaking. Again, is that a serious problem with the Xterra? Of course not. But I made a how-to video on it and it's technically a fix. Now the thermostat, temperature sensor, and water pump was because my vehicle was getting hot. My X was getting hot, and to be honest, that was like a throw money at it to fix it issue. I never really figured out exactly what it was that fixed the problem because I did too much at once. I think I flushed it. I put in a new water pump, new temperature sensor, and thermostat. So it fixed it. It wasn't overheating anymore, but I don't know exactly what it was. So technically, yes, probably most likely of those 3 was the thermostat because the water pump looked fine and the sensor isn't really going to do anything, right? So again, was it a serious issue? Probably not. The intake valve timing control solenoid valve, the IVTCSV, that one I think was my fault. I did another job where I removed it, and like a dummy, I reused the gasket and then just reinstalled it. And sure enough, I started throwing codes for that exact solenoid. So I don't remember if I actually bought a new one and replaced it or if I just bought a new gasket. But regardless, that how-to video, I think I'm gonna put that one on me. So really, it's 8 fixes because that was on me, right? I think I messed that up. And technically, the thermostat and temperature sensor and the water pump are 1 issue, right? It's not 2, so -1 for that. The throttle body was definitely an issue. I was getting a high idle, and it was acting weird. It wasn't driving the way I wanted it to. So for that was definitely a fix. No 2 ways about it. Fuel pump. This one, sort of an issue. The pump ran fine. That's what was kind of annoying. The pump ran perfectly fine, but the actual sending unit where it tells you the gauge, it tells you the amount of gas in there, whatever the hell it's called, the gas gauge level. That's what went wrong. So it's kind of annoying because it drove just fine, but I like to know how much gas is in my car, and I'm sure you would too. So I went through the trouble of dropping the tank and putting the new pump in for that exact reason. So was the Xterra still operational and working just fine? Yes, it was. I wanted that change. Next is the liftgate supports. Again, not a serious problem with the Xterra. They went bad. They were old. I popped on a cheap set from Amazon, and they've been great ever since. The last big one, which was a big one, was the timing chain and tensioner guides for the secondary timing chains. Now, this is, of course, a notorious issue. I don't have to tell you. You know that the Xterras and I believe the Frontiers also had this timing chain whine that was, a big issue. Some people really felt like it needed to be taken care of. Some people are just driving it the way that it is, but I considered it a serious problem, and I went in and fixed it. So of those 9 that I considered fixes, really only 6 of them are actual problems that happened with my Xterra. You know what? Hold on a second. Something just occurred to me. Where is the cam positioning sensors? Okay, so I think I'm missing a video because I remember specifically the cam position sensors causing issues. Give me a second. Okay, correction. 10 videos that I consider a fix, and of those we have 7 that are actual fixes because for some reason this one wasn't in my playlist, my Xterra repair playlist. So yes, the cam sensors were absolutely a problem. Those failed on me. It actually left me stranded in Home Depot parking lot. Well, actually, not technically stranded. I was able to start it after a while, but it was dying on me. It wasn't starting. I had to fix those cam sensors. So 7 issues that I considered actual issues that I had to fix with the Xterra out of 78 videos. So I don't want you looking at my videos, looking at my channel, thinking, oh my God, this dude's Xterra is a mess. He's constantly fixing it. That is just not the case. It just appears that way because I've had this vehicle for 6 years, done tons of voluntary work to it, stuff that didn't need to get done, and stuff that even looks like there's something wrong, but there's actually not. I'm just doing it for show. And I've put thousands of miles on it, driven across country multiple times, and it's been an absolutely fantastic vehicle for me. So don't be discouraged. If you want an Xterra, pick up a second gen. I think they're great vehicles, and you have 78 videos to help you if you need any assistance. I hope you liked this video, guys. If you did, go ahead, scroll down, click that like button. And again, if you have an Xterra or a Titan, definitely scroll down, click that subscribe button, and have a great day.